Hello, and welcome back to another brand new Tales from my backlog, where I finally watched the first Rocky movie last night. What did I think of it? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Surprisingly. I honestly thought, this has been built up so much, there's so much hype around the Rocky films, that as a first time viewer going into this, having know nothing about the Rocky series and the Creed series, that I wouldn't enjoy it. I fully expected to not enjoy this movie, and I was wrong. I'll admit I was wrong. I went in and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a nice, easy, quick 2 hours to pass time. Granted, I was from some of it. I was busy doing something else, but I was paying attention to what was happening. I wasn't just focusing on the other thing that I was doing. I was, periodically looking up and actively listening to pay attention to what's going on. And people say it's the perfect underdog story, and I'm inclined to agree. Seeing how Rocky came essentially from, he has nothing essentially. He has no real job. He does fights, but he doesn't make a lot of money from it, and the fights that he does do, they're not that well respected, in a sense, and when he does win, he doesn't win a lot. He won $50 from the fight we see in the beginning of the movie, and after having to pay certain things, taxes to back to the place where he fought, he ended up losing about $10 essentially to that. And as well, he works for a crime boss essentially, where he's goes to collect money for him. And but even by doing that, Rocky isn't, you know, that in that mindset. He actually gives these people another chance. He does try and collect what money he can. He was told to break this guy's thumb, after only getting $130 off of the 200 that he was supposed to get, and he didn't. And his thought process was, and he tried to explain it, like, if I break his thumb, that's him out of work for a couple of weeks. That's him not earning money, and then he can't get his money back. Whereas if he doesn't break his thumb, he works, he gets paid, he can get the last couple of dollars off out of him. Uh, we don't really see too much of interactions with him and this person. We see obviously him with his best friend Polly, who's a alcoholic, essentially, and he keeps trying to get in with this guy, but kind of protecting him, Stallone doesn't, you know, allow him to do that. He doesn't put in a word, even though this person has eyes and ears all over the place, so he probably already knows that Paulie wants to join him, but isn't fit for it. He works in a meat factory and he's constantly drinking. Like, it's rare that we don't see him either with a Paul. It's rare that we don't see Paulie with either a drink in his hand or he's already piss drunk. Um, then of course he's trying to get with Polly's sister. That works out. Eventually, he brings her out of her shell because she was, very shy and all that. And then of course, obviously, when he gets picked to fight Apollo Creed, um, Apollo Creed sees it as a joke fight. Doing something for the community. Giving one of these local boxers a chance at greatness, essentially. And Rocky takes this seriously. He takes it as a real proper fight, and so he starts with little time. I think, if memory serves correct, he only really had like 5 weeks until the match, And so he was training daily, getting up at 4 a.m., having several raw eggs, uh, running a couple of miles, and then, of course, training after that, by punching meat in a freezer or in the actual boxing training area that he frequents, And then, of course, the entire fight itself was really, really well done. I really, really enjoyed that fight. It looked real, and for someone who'd only trained for 5 weeks, he is a boxer. He obviously has prior training, but for someone who only trained essentially for 5 weeks to do this fight, he held his own. He held his own. He went all 13 or so rounds. I can't remember exactly how many rounds it was, but he went the distance, and because of that, it was a split decision, that it was a tie. He kept saying that there's going to be no rematch, and because it wasn't technically an official match, Apollo Creed gets to keep his title, and the movie ends. It's a really good movie. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed Stallone in it. Like, this is my first proper Stallone film. I've only seen him in cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and as well as I've only seen him play the villain towards the end of the villain throughout the vast majority of Spy Kids 3 was my first proper introduction to Stallone. Um, but yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable, and I will probably at some point, watch the other bajillion Rocky films at this point. Um, I think there's like what, six main Rocky films up to like 2006, and then there's three Creed films. Now I do already have Rocky 4 on DVD and Creed 1 on Blu-ray, so but I'll obviously go in order. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Glad I finally gave Rocky a shot. Really did enjoy it. So I look forward to seeing how the rest of the movies play out, because I'm basically going in blind to like a lot of the Rocky films. Like, I went into this one essentially blind, not knowing what's happening or anything. It hasn't been spoiled on me over the years. So yeah, thank you all for watching this, the fourth Tales from my backlog. Um, and I'll see you next month for even more Tales from my backlog. I'll see you all next time.